What if everything you believed about a victim's life was built on a lie? What if the person everyone mourned was never who they claimed to be? And what if the real crime was hidden in plain sight for decades, protected not by silence, but by confusion? This is not one tragedy. It is several, stacked on top of each other. And once the truth surfaced, it was too disturbing to fully undo. In the mid-1980s, Sharon Marshall appeared to be a young woman destined for success. She was intelligent, disciplined, kind. Teachers described her as exceptional. Classmates admired her. She graduated from Forest Park High School in Georgia in 1986 at the top of her class. She had earned a full scholarship to Georgia Tech. Her dream was to study aerospace engineering and work for NASA. On paper, her future was clear, but Sharon never went to college. Behind the academic achievements, her life was already unraveling. During her final months of high school, Sharon was pregnant. She told no one. She gave birth in secret and allowed the baby to be adopted by a wealthy couple from Texas. Soon after, she tried to run away. Something in her life felt urgent, dangerous. Within a short time, Sharon left Georgia entirely. She moved to Tampa, Florida, with a man who called himself Franklin Delano Floyd. Their relationship was difficult to define. They lived together, they traveled together, but those who knew them sensed control, not love. Sharon soon became pregnant again. This time, she kept the child. In 1988, she gave birth to a boy named Michael. Frank claimed the role of father, though no one was sure whether he truly was. He worked sporadically as a painter. Chronic pain often kept him from jobs. To survive, Sharon worked as an exotic dancer. Friends described her as warm and generous. Frank was the opposite: aggressive, suspicious, volatile. At the club where Sharon worked, she befriended another dancer, Cheryl Comesso. The friendship did not last. Arguments between Cheryl and Frank became frequent and intense. During a boating trip in 1989, a fight erupted. Shortly afterward, Cheryl reported Sharon to social services for welfare fraud. The assistant's checks stopped. Frank was furious. Witnesses later reported that he confronted Cheryl outside the club and punched her in the face. Not long after, Cheryl vanished. Her car was found abandoned at an airport. There were no signs of where she went. Frank and Sharon were questioned. Nothing could be proven. Within days, they packed up and disappeared. They began using new names, new stories. In Tulsa, Oklahoma, Sharon continued working as a dancer. She talked about leaving Frank. She had met someone else, but those close to her believed she was afraid of what Frank would do. Before she could escape, Sharon was found unconscious beside a highway. It appeared to be a hit and run. Frank said he had been asleep. Doctors noticed old bruises. The injuries did not fully match the story. Sharon briefly showed signs of recovery. Then suddenly, she died. The physician listed the death as a homicide. Frank paid nothing for her burial. Her co-workers did. Weeks later, Frank attempted to collect an $80,000 life insurance policy. That was when his real name surfaced, Franklin Delano Floyd, and with it, his past. At 19, he had abducted and assaulted a 4-year-old girl. He escaped custody, robbed a bank, was captured, released, arrested again, then vanished while awaiting trial. For decades, he lived under aliases. When authorities caught up with him, Frank was sent back to prison. Michael, Sharon's son, entered foster care. He was withdrawn, nearly nonverbal, terrified. DNA testing later revealed Frank was not his biological father. Visitation was stopped. But when Frank was released in 1994, he came back for the child. He walked into Michael's elementary school, pulled a gun, kidnapped the boy, tied the principal to a tree, and vanished. Michael was never seen again. 2 months later, Frank was arrested in Kentucky. He refused to speak. Then, bones were found in Florida. The remains belonged to Cheryl Camesso. She had been beaten and shot. Photographs discovered in a stolen truck showed her bound and assaulted. Frank was convicted of her murder, sentenced to death. But the photographs revealed something else. Images of a young girl, older, different. The truth came years later. Sharon Marshall was not her real name. She was Suzanne Sevakis. Frank had kidnapped her as a child. She was his stepdaughter. He raised her, abused her, married her, possibly killed her, and then murdered her son. Frank later admitted to killing Michael. He claimed the body was left near a highway. Nothing was found. Authorities believe animals destroyed the remains. Frank still refuses to speak about Sharon. He remains on death row. The full truth may never be known. Some stories end in silence. Others end in questions that grow louder with time. And sometimes, the most terrifying cases are the ones where the victim never even knew who they were allowed to be. Next time, a missing child is found alive, but nothing about him is real.